months leading up to Christmas, many Christians tell their children that they better be good because a mystical man named Santa Claus is keeping an eye on them and keeping a list and checking it twice to find out who is going to be naughty or nice. They may even take their children to the mall or some other store and let their children sit on the lap of a white-bearded old man to have the children tell this man, dressed up as Santa, what they want for Christmas, with the promise that if they are good, this man will come and give it to them on Christmas morning. They teach their children that this man lives at the North Pole with a group of elves that builds all the toys for all the children on earth for him to put it on his sleigh on the night of Christmas Eve to be delivered via flying reindeer that pulls this flying sleigh. Then when he arrives at their home, he comes down their chimney and delivers their presents. I'm not sure what happens to all the children that don't have chimneys. Some parents even go as far to put a little toy elf out in their house called Elf on a Shelf that is supposed to report back to Santa if they are being good or bad. The parents get up every morning, somewhat like a religious ritual, and move this elf around the house to make the children believe he is moving on his own. The question of whether Christians should celebrate Christmas is a hotly debated subject, and one I don't want to address in this video. I don't even want to address the origins of Santa Claus, other to say that the modern-day Santa Claus is basically a very successful marketing campaign by the Coca-Cola Company. What I do want to address is whether Christians should lie and deceive their children about Santa Claus, elves, flying reindeer, and other nonsense. The truth is that most children under a certain age believe these lies taught to them by their parents and their grandparents all across America and the world. I personally have known children older than the age of 12 or 13 that still believe in Santa Claus and all the other things that come along with it. And the parents and relatives work very hard to keep this lie going as long as possible and threatening anyone that would dare spoil the lie for them. It is well understood that children are very moldable when they are young. The Bible even confirms this in Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6, where it says, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." If you train a child when he or she is young, it will be with them when they are old. It is scientifically understood that when children are young, that is the best time to teach them anything. Their brains are very moldable at that time. So the question that I want to ask those listening is, should Christians lie and deceive their children about Santa Claus? Let's look at the Bible for some answers to that and just see what the Bible has to say about lying and deceitfulness. Psalms chapter 120, verse 2 says, "Deliver my soul, O Lord, from lying lips and from a deceitful tongue." Psalms 109, verse 2 says, "For the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are opened against me. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue." Leviticus 19:11, "Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another." Colossians chapter 3, verse 9, "Lie not to one another, seeing that ye have put off the old man with his deeds." John chapter 8, verse 44, Jesus speaking to the Pharisees says, "You are of your father the devil, and you want to do the desires of your father. He was a murderer from the beginning, and does not stand in truth because there is no truth in him. Whenever he speaks a lie, he speaks from his own nature, for he is a liar and the father of lies." 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11. "For this reason God will send upon them a deluding influence, so that they will believe what is false." Yet another example of how lying and deceitfulness is not a good thing. These are just a few biblical examples of how lying and deceitfulness is not favorable action before God, and not something Christians should be practicing. We should turn away from these things. Many Christians teach their children about a man that sees them when they are sleeping, watches over them, and knows when they are awake, and knows when they have been bad or good, and blesses or curses them depending on their actions. This man loves them and wants them to succeed and be good. This man, this God-man, died for their sins upon a cross, and his name is Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is real. Santa Claus is not. What will you do when someday you tell your children that Santa isn't real, or they find out for themselves, and they look at you in the eye and ask, "Is Jesus real too?"